that good of a man, you know. But you know what I am?
What are you?
I am a homeboy.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
and
how about
ain't never
you?
changing. Of course.
Yeah, all right.
Ooh,
And today, as always, we're here hanging with the homeboys.
That's right. We're back.
What's
and we're
the
better
date
than ever.
today? You keep track of that type of thing?
Nah, as little as I possibly can.
It is me too. That's how how I love to live.
Do I have a close today? A closing? No.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Do I? Let me.
Yeah. That's the only thing I want to know.
June 12th, 2024. We're here. That's 6/12/24.
Yes, I felt that. I felt that. That is the.
What does that mean? That's not a palindrome, is it?
No. But it's a set of divisible numbers within each other, and they just fit so nicely together.
I felt like I just got better at math.
Yeah. That felt good.
It's so round, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to buy a property for 6/12/24 right now. What would that be? $61,224. Yeah, dude. If I found a deal for that today, I would buy it.
You should.
Everything in our market that's under 100 gone, no time flat
Or crap.
Yeah, well, yeah, that
Yeah,
too. Could be crap, you know. Probably, maybe no air conditioner, maybe window units. Maybe it has an air conditioner, but the air conditioner's not working.
Oh, yeah.
This is my segue into this home field advantage section that we like to start with.
Talk to me.
Well, you know, I was asking you, like, what you think? You know, what's new in your world? Or where? You know what? You just told me about air conditioning. And how did you learn about this? How did you experience it?
Well, it's easy. I learned about it because I am a curious nerd. It's just that simple. I got to know it all about everything about why. Because why is my favorite question. And one thing that I stumbled on in my YouTube journey this week was the fact that we are on the precipice of the latest generational change in refrigerants, otherwise known as Freon, in the air conditioning industry. And for older folks like us, 40 plus folks, you might remember a time, or you might have heard of somebody in the air conditioning HVAC field talk about different refrigerants, older systems that take refrigerants that aren't even available anymore, or if they are available, they cost way so much more money because they're not widely available. And the old school technology that we got away from in maybe the early 90s was called R31.
Not ice cubes. You're not talking about ice cubes.
Yeah, we ain't swamp cooling. No,
I like the big block of ice, you know, like the one when they bring it in with the big clamp, you know, and they drop it in, you get it delivered in the side of your house. That's how I'm running air conditioning at some of my rentals right now.
Dang, swamp cooling Iceman.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been an Iceman, but we digress. So for the last, 30 years or something, we've been using the same type of refrigerant, and the powers that be, we know how conspiratorial they can be to ruin our lives. And this is all about, you know, big HVAC trying to make more money, right? I mean,
conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy, but supposedly they have developed the latest refrigerant technology, and in 2025 it is going to be mandated in all new air conditioners coming out, which means the types of air conditioners that we're running now won't be produced. And the new ones will have new systems that will possibly change the pricing of air conditioning by 30% in an increase when we go to this new one. So what does that mean? That means that you should probably take action now if you've got an aging or failing unit, because you can still get the current technology that is probably cooling your house down just fine today. But next year, that won't be the case. What I haven't found out is what the actual advantage to this new refrigerant is.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Will there be some type of efficiency upgrade? What is it? Just a safety thing? Why?
Yeah, why? You back to the question why?
Yeah,
you know?
my favorite question that I never answered on this.
I'm over here thinking like, so it used to be R31, right? Yeah, that's what you told me. You know, I've heard that before. And I went to R410A, which kind of sounds like a shotgun, you know, 410 automatic, maybe, you know what I mean? But, you know, so I'm thinking like when we went from R31, like in the 90s to, I don't know, the 2000s, is that when they removed the Aquanet? You know, like the hairspray, the chlorofluorocarbons or whatever.
Okay.
Like, is this more environmentally friendly? I mean, that's why we were doing that, right? At that time, like maybe that refrigerant was getting up there and deteriorating the ozone layer. And I don't believe I don't believe in theories against ozone depletion. You know, I believe that when I was spraying that Aquanet on my hair in 1992 for that really good part that I had that really hard hair.
Oh yeah.
You probably don't know anything about that.
No, I wanted it, but
I felt guilty about it, and I wondered why I was breathing it, or wondered if breathing it was bad. So I'd hold my breath, spray my hair, run out of the apartment bathroom, maybe come in a little bit later, get a little sweaty from working out while I'm doing my hair.
You getting sweaty?
Yeah, well, we talk about that from time to time. So it's probably something environmental, right?
That's what I'm thinking, and for everybody that's wondering about the ozone layer, supposedly things have gotten better because we banned certain products and we changed our ways, and CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, I believe is what that was that we were trying to get rid of. So
I haven't heard
don't get me lying. You know what the famous guy from Reading Rainbow said, don't take our word for it. Read it for yourself. Figure out why, but it's coming down the pike.
LeVar Burton. I just saw him on an episode of Big Bang Theory 2 nights ago. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Butterfly in the sky. Right? All right.
Take it away.
So, so it's better for the butterflies, right? I mean, it's better for the environment, right? That's what that was. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard anybody say chlorofluorocarbon in maybe a decade. Do you hear people saying that?
Nah, man.
I love words like that, like deoxyribonucleic acid. I like that. I like bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Wait, what that is?
Wait, bad cow disease?
Yes. And then,
why did you learn that one?
Because I think I like the long words. I like big words, I don't like to say that's wrong. I like to say that's erroneous. You know what I mean? I tried to make that catch on as a phrase back in, 2021.
Yeah.
No, 2002. I think it did, didn't you? Heard it, didn't you?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well, now I have a different platform.
Circles.
So, okay. Nobody's talking about chlorofluorocarbons. Maybe it's not environmental. You would think that if we're switching, maybe it's the same reason. Is it supply and demand thing? Is it? Did we run out of shotgun refrigerant? 410A.
Listen, if they want to actually impress me, here's what we should know about refrigerants: is that you have to have special certifications to even handle this stuff.
That's true.
It is literally all the freons out there are considered hazardous materials.
Don't buy it at AutoZone.
It sounds like somebody that
never.
That.
I would
get in the zone. Yeah, you got in the zone.
But do buy other things at AutoZone, okay?
But if they want to impress me, this new stuff has to be so stable that anybody can handle it. You don't even need a hazardous. Like, what if it was so stable and it was like, refrigerant with all the good stuff and none of the bad stuff.
What?
That's the only way I want to, my only revolution I'd like to have in the industry.
What if it's so safe that you can put it in a balloon and then you can do like the helium thing?
Come on now.
And it'll
but
do
instead,
something.
This time your voice does something else.
Right. But
instead of going high, maybe low.
Have you seen the Impractical Jokers episodes where they've got the tube and he's giving a speech? And one of them is helium, and the other one is like some kind of oxide gas or something like that, and it makes his voice go low.
Shut up!
I swear to God, it's the most hilarious thing in the world. And he's doing a presentation to like data geeks. Okay, so he's up there and he's talking, and his voice is
really going high,
and then roll. And then at the end, he's like, "Tell them to have my mom pick me up."
Sounded like Darth Vader.
What if it was like that though? I hope we get something new. Yeah. Maybe that you're right, man. That's probably what it is. It's safer.
If it ain't that safe, well, then why are we doing it?
Don't be eliminating jobs either, though. Are they eliminating jobs?
Maybe they're creating them. I don't know.
They gotta be.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's an insight. Well, no. What's the inside part? For the buyers and the sellers is what? They should
act now. Don't wait. And don't say you didn't get warned when next year, when you get the bill for the replacement of your air conditioner, you're going to say, what the fuck? Because,
As seen on TV, click the button. We'll send you an old air conditioner and ice block, you think?
Possibly.
Maybe an ice block holder thing.
There's going to be some people that are still running the old stuff. I'm like, yeah, you can hit me up. You can't get it from them. But
what about the cooler on TikTok? Maybe a lucky winner will get one of the cooler air conditioners on TikTok with the tube and the fan. So good. All right, on to Homeboyology.
Come on.
Homeology. You guys tell us what you want to call this section. We're going to talk a little bit about the industry stats and how they apply to our local area right now.
Yeah.
We've gotten some information about appreciation. Would you say that appreciation is one of your favorite stats or one of your favorite whys? What do you think about appreciation in general? Do you like it?
Appreciation is really just another term for inflation. But it's in a specific segment when it comes to housing, and the gains that come from this appreciation go into your pocket, rather than costing you more because you already bought the thing that is now worth more, and continues to be worth more year in and year out. And it's the story that I tell most of the time when we talk about the benefits of home ownership is that other bank account that is slowly growing without your knowledge. As long as you do what the bank told you when you signed up for the mortgage, you're gonna be making money in the backside.
That is the best situation. You know what you said is with it being synonymous with inflation. That's probably the worst case scenario. Or, well, it's not the worst case scenario. It's actually an even keel, great argument for real estate in that real estate has historically been on pace with inflation, right?
Bingo.
If your money is becoming worth less, if you can buy less gallons of milk with your dollars, with your $10 bill, well, you can. The same thing is happening with your house. So your equity in your house is actually growing at least the same rate as the price of your gallons of milk. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's important. But the better part is that historically, in most communities that we've been observing, and especially over the past, 5 years, home price appreciation has grown, has outpaced inflation, has tripled, quadrupled, 10x'd inflation.
And with you saying that, it's important for our people to understand that inflation is not just the cost of gas and the cost of food. It's the cost of everything, including real estate. So Luke is making the case right now that the boom that has happened in the last 5 years in real estate has been part and parcel to why inflation has been so hard to bring down and has gotten out of control. Housing is a very, very big purchase. So the amount of dollars that go to a housing purchase versus how much it costs to keep you alive in a given year, you can start to see why those appreciation numbers are pulling inflation up so crazily. And it's part of the problem that if we continue to have these housing shortage, it's going to make inflation continue to be something that is getting a little bit out of control.
You talk about the shortage, and shortage has to do with whether you own a house or not. There are some folks out there that don't own a house, the people that are renting properties, right? So when the value of that property goes up, or any real estate goes up, well, their rent goes up,
Yes.
But they don't experience that protection or that buffer from the increase in all of the other goods and costs. The people that own real estate, like in our city, in the city of Topeka, when home price appreciation went up 16.6% in 2021, and another 10% in 2022, and 7.1% in 2023. These were outpacing inflation. And again, at least keeping you on par. If you did not own real estate, well, that just means that everything got more expensive, and you didn't have a biggest investment that also became worth more. So this is why appreciation is very important to us. We're talking about people's net worth. And what I wanted to bring today is the
largest source of net worth in the average American household is equity from a home.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, if you're missing the thing that is the source of wealth for most Americans, it's going to be a tough time for you.
It's your biggest investment too. Few people own anything that's worth more than their home. So you might as well have the thing that's appreciating the most, that's worth the most.
Yeah, because you're paying to live, whether you're going to be able to realize any of those gains or not. You're going to pay to live no matter what.
True. Most recent stat just came out. We got this from Federal Housing Finance Agency. Administration? I believe it's agency. This comes out every quarter, so it's a quarter behind. Because you're looking at sales data, they need time to process that. This came out May 27th, or at least the source that we got it from. And what has happened is that I'm gonna do it in order here.
Okay.
For Kansas, for the Kansas cities that are being observed, and I'm gonna do it in appreciation order from where should I go? Should I go from top to bottom or bottom to top?
Let's rise with them. Let's start at the basement and just go on up to the penthouse suite.
Okay. Well, our guys in Larrytown, Lawrence is known for doing really well. Having being worth more than what Topeka is. I don't know if you have a bit of an inferiority complex about our values as they compare to the Lawrence values or not, but when people are buying houses, they're like, now, you know what? I think I want to look in Topeka because I can get more house for my money.
Yeah.
But what's happening over in Lawrence in the first quarter of this year was actually everybody look down, negative.
Wow.
Ever so slightly depreciation. It was not appreciation. It was negative 0.1%. So
wow,
that's not bad. It just means that their market has stayed,
it's starting to stabilize.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we're reaching a limit.
They had they had a bad, let's see. No, they had a good fourth quarter of 2023. But not as good as Topeka's, Wichita's fourth quarter. Let me look at Topeka's because I remember the Topeka fourth quarter. I didn't even want to talk about it. Topeka's fourth quarter last year was down 3.21%, and Lawrence's was up 1.35%. So that's pretty interesting. Didn't mean to complicate the data there. Let's go back here.
No, that's fine.
Did you rewind?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So next, we have Wichita, and Wichita appreciated 0.5%.
Okay.
Kansas City, 1.7% of appreciation. A strong real estate market. Topeka.
And now, I apologize that I'm even asking this, but This is first quarter compared to first quarter of 2023 or fourth quarter of 2023, the preceding quarter. What are we talking about here?
That's a really good question. I don't. This data isn't stated as year over year data. Not necessarily like first quarter of 2024 from first quarter of 2023.
So that means it was probably just concurrent, like
yes,
where we were in the quarter previous, the fourth quarter, and then what we can see about the prices compared to the last quarter.
Since we do know that they're measuring by quarters, I think what they're doing, like if we were to look at the Lawrence appreciation for 2023, I don't have the whole entire year. But what I've got is 10% appreciation from the second quarter, 2% depreciation from the third, and 1% appreciation from the fourth. So if you were to net that out, that's 10 minus 2 comes to 8, plus 1 is 7.35. And then they said the annual appreciation is 4.4. So I wish I knew what the first quarter's appreciation was there, but.
So if we're going to have a depreciating quarter, last quarter and first quarter are going to have the highest chances of being in that time frame because we have a lot of people that hold off for the nicer months when school's out, that kind of stuff, right? Just as another caveat.
I have taken stats class. Ooh. Have you taken stats?
I was probably in 10th grade.
Yeah, honestly, you don't even need stats class, probably anyway. I didn't even listen to your answer. That's one of the things I do. Sometimes I don't hear the answer because I know what I'm going to say. 2 ears, 1 mouth, right?
That's right.
So, this data is so sophisticated. Okay. This is from FHFA, right? Federal Housing Finance Administration, from our agency, from our city. They have data going back to 1979.
Wow.
Appreciation data. You can't get data anywhere else like this. This data comes from the loans that this agency backs, which
Oh, wow.
I believe are Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loans. They're looking at appreciation, not from, if you and me were to calculate it, first of all, we don't have enough data, Second of all, we just we add up everything from last year, do the best that we can, add up the stuff from the year before, add up the stuff from the year there before that, and average it out and say, yeah, it's really appreciated by this much. Mm-hmm. These guys are looking at 225 Western, in Topeka, 66611 or whatever, that when it sold with a FHA loan back in 1982. And when it sold again in 1994. Wow. And when it sold again in 2003. And when it sold again in 2016. So this data, we can't even talk about quarters. Like we don't even, you and I, our rationale couldn't even articulate it in an accurate way.
Yeah.
They're doing a very sophisticated annualization of this data. Mm-hmm. And but I think that the end result is they try to simplify it for us as much as possible. And we're thinking of the entire year's appreciation.
Yeah.
So at this point, probably from calendar year, January 1, 2024. Is your eye okay? Did you poke that out? Or? You can't poke your eye out with something round. You just can't do that. Lawrence's appreciation is negative 0.14%. Topeka is 2.0%. Okay. Whereas the quarters or the years before that, I think I said we had 7, 10, and 16.
Yeah.
All right. If you're looking at the national data, which I didn't bring today, but maybe we can bring another day, you haven't heard a whole lot about home price appreciation, right?
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Well, because I don't think it's happening a lot, you know, like in some areas, like that. What I've been hearing is it's pretty flat. And actually, 2% is pretty flat because it's like right on par with inflation, like you talked about.
That's right.
And in Topeka, our average annual appreciation has been 3.2%. Over that 40-year period that I was talking about there. And then the one who is leading the way, the city in Topeka, is Manhattan, and they've had 2.3% appreciation this year so far.
Home of Kansas State University Wildcats.
I was just there this weekend for a little girl's softball tournament, and she was killing it. She caught a foul, somebody hit a line drive that went foul, but she went around the base runner and caught it.
Ooh.
First good catch of her whole career. Then she
pure instinct.
Oh man, she caught a pop fly in foul territory. She scored the game-winning run. She hit the hit that had the runner come in. She had a tournament, man.
Wow.
We took
graceful.
fourth. But anyway, the park was beautiful.
Annenberg Park.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Man.
Listen to time out. I grew up in Manhattan.
That's right.
The very, very affluent neighborhood across from Annenberg Park was the first neighborhood that I noticed lawn striping in my life. That's when I first go, how the hell are they making their yards do that? It's like one color green over here and then a different color green.
And now you're lawn striping.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Wow, I knew you were at Annenberg.
Annenberg Park, man, we pulled in. Oh. There's a pond, and there was probably 100 to 150 people fishing.
Wow.
They were all wearing blue t-shirts. I was like, what is it? Why are all the softball kids standing around the pond? Doesn't make any sense. It's it's some kind of fishing club or Big Brothers Big Sisters with fishing or something like that, fishing contest. But then you drove in, and then the park was nice, AstroTurf on the infield, and breeze, man, and they
brought the best out of
the breeze and the trees. There was both. It was low, it's low in a valley, the air was coming through, and then there was big trees all along the area.
For a guy like him, for the sweaters of the world, these we call them microclimates.
I could have wore a sweater.
Because, the whole day you look on your phone and it says, oh, it's this temperature. But if you go in certain areas, you can get nature's air conditioning between the breeze and the trees.
I would have found those areas back in the day before we knew about any of that. I'd have been plant the crops here. Just damp.
The soil will never be arid and dry here.
Oh man. So, okay. Well, what do you think about that? Should we move on?
Yes, man. I got something that I tried, and I think it would be perfect for our next segment. full house, where we talk about some of the stuff that people are doing around here as far as design trends and some of the DIY stuff that folks end up doing to beautify their house.
Got to fill that house up.
Absolutely. Everybody can't afford an interior designer. And you guys are worth the money, but
Sometimes the design is on the exterior, though, right?
That's right. That's right.
And that's what our buddy's going to tell us about right now. Well,
we've talked a lot about our short-term rental journeys. We both have, short-term, medium-term rentals that we do.
We like them.
We like them.
They're more fun. You get to dream a little bit more. You get to plan a little bit more. Like, really, design before hasn't meant that much to me, in terms of selling houses, other than what we need to make it look like with these people's furniture.
That's right.
But now, short-term rental, I get to think a little bit differently. What color should these be? Where did this what will this Facebook Marketplace stuff match?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a fun game, and there's no one size that fits all.
But it's also creating spaces modifying spaces, right? And that's what you're doing here.
That's right. We've had a grand plan with this short-term rental since we've done it. We started our way on the inside, and we got the house interior completely locked down. People are really loving what we're picking up. Then we moved to the garage area that we made into an adults-only fun cave with a refrigerator, a pool table, and a wireless TV out there. But now it's about outside. How do we get intentional about our space on the outside of the house to where you can venture outside of one of those doors and not feel like you are out of the house, really, If you don't want to put on your whole pair of shoes to go enjoy some part of your place outside, if you've set it up correctly, you can probably go out there barefoot.
You could just wear half your shoes.
You can wear half your shoes. You can wear a flip flop. You can go with one shoe on, one shoe off.
Yeah.
And go pogo stick with it, But
one Doc Marten sandal with the nice leather straps on there. You still have a pair of those, don't you?
No, I don't, but I should, because I keep everything and I don't really grow. But my external space guru, or I guess you could say the first inspiration that made me say, wow, this guy's outside of his house is actually better than the inside, that would be one Mr. Miyagi.
Very.
Am I lying?
Yeah, you're right.
And I'll give some of it to Daniel, because he did a lot of, Santa Flor and paint the fence,
Sure. But the bonsai trees and the platforms and all that. Okay.
Everything was laid out. There was no place where you're like, why are we here? What are we doing with this?
It wasn't even like a koi pond. Wasn't it just like a koi area?
Dude.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Me, I like how you're bringing it back.
He had it going on. And so we've had a patio area in mind from the beginning, and we have finally embarked on that journey. And what makes this...
Had to catch that fly, man.
Beginner luck. Yeah. Lukey-san.
I got called that plenty of times. All right. Yeah, you really, it's nostalgic.
You grew up in a time, either the best time or the worst time to be Asian, because karate was like, because of that movie. Okay, we're digressing. We're digressing.
The best defense is just faking karate. Go ahead.
So, I've got an area that is 18 feet by 13 feet. Pretty large area to turn into a patio, and we are attempting to pour this concrete patio with dry concrete.
Is it a pour? Is it a pour if you dry? Is it a sift? Are you sifting it out there?
Let me ask you this. If you have a bag of sugar and you turn it upside down, you have now poured it out into the ground, whether it's wet or whether it's dry. It's still a pour.
It could be the way you did. It's kind of like a dump, but go ahead. That's all right.
So we have divided this big space in half and decided to go in two sections. And like anything else, the prep work to getting this the way it needs to be done is where all of the mind-numbing decision-making happens, and all of the back-breaking work that really sets you up for the big day to actually pour.
And costs money. Sometimes
It can.
it really can.
Or
Yeah.
it costs you. In my case, it costs you your back.
That's right.
And your hamstrings.
Oh, you okay?
Dude, it's
The labor,
keep
man.
going.
Yeah, I know, right?
So what we're dealing with is we're trying to manipulate a terrain. We're trying to we don't want to just pour this concrete pad all willy-nilly. It has to have a design so that when inevitably it rains and this big concrete patio becomes a rain collection device, that we can control where the water flows.
Yeah, your patio's like a gutter almost.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like the ground gutter that makes all the water run away.
Or more like a ground roof.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
your roof is what I tell people is a rain collection device.
Ground
It's
roof.
collecting the rain, and if it's doing the right thing, it's depositing it in a specific area that's going to not exacerbate any issues on the house.
Yeah.
But if you have bad gutters, that rain collection device is just collecting the water and just throwing it down.
Putting
at
it in
its
the
feet.
wrong spot. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's paramount here. I cannot, it's like the oath of the doctor. Do no harm is the very first oath of the Hippocratic. You
that's
can't
right.
hurt yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
So I painstakingly dialed that in, and I figured out exactly how to get the correct fall, which is 1/4 inch for every 1 foot of run. You have to have a little bit of fall. So 20 feet section, that means you need to go down about 5 inches.
Okay.
Between one section and the next. It
The
should
place
be
where you want the rain not to be and the place where you want the rain to end up, right?
Hello. And
Yes.
in my case, I did two pitches.
Okay.
I did a pitch from south to north and a pitch from the actual house to away from the house. So it would actually go in two different directions at the same time. And there was a lot of grading that had to happen. The terrain to get the amount of concrete on average that I wanted, which was about 3 inches of concrete. Most driveways are going to be about 4 to 5 inches of concrete. And when you have a patio that will never experience a truck or a car being driven on it, honestly, 2 or 1.5 inches would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go a little bit overboard, make mine a little bit stronger.
Unless you're like a superhero landing or like taking off,
Oh,
that'll probably be sufficient.
That could be some stress.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Good choice. Okay.
So we wanted 3 inches on average. And so you have to manipulate the ground. You have to look down at it and go, okay, we got to shave some away from here and throw more dirt away from here.
Yeah.
And I probably spent 12 hours manipulating the ground. And once you pour all the concrete in dry and you have your concrete forms, you saw it back and forth with a straight edge 2x4 to get everything to kind of level out.
Right.
And that process took us from about 6:30 p.m. to getting 25 bags of concrete done, to getting half of that section, taking a break, eating some food, getting another 25 bags of concrete, bringing it out there. We finally had it all done and ready for water at about 10 o'clock at night.
Now, this is different from the other way of pouring concrete, which is where it's mixed up in a truck or it's mixed up with water in a mixer, and you're pouring it into that area that you've prepared in the same way.
Exactly.
So what you're doing different here, this is the dry pouring of the concrete. There's not any water involved at this point.
Nope.
And you're just pouring out the sugar or the dust. You're dumping it into the area and you're leveling it before it's even wet.
Before it's even wet. And like I said, from 6 o'clock to about 10 o'clock, we're doing all of this to get it prepped. And we finally introduced the water. So, but Chris, if you put water on it after that, isn't it going to splash everywhere? Is it going to make it look all rough? Well, yes, it would.
Hey.
But you have to have yourself a nice garden sprayer. The ones that have like 9 different settings, and you find the one that's mist, and you go, "Wow, I've never used mist before. I want more water."
In most cases, mist is annoying.
Mist ain't
takes
enough.
too long.
It just takes too long.
Who's going to do
kidding
that?
me? But the mist
this is what
comes
it's for,
in handy.
Huh? All right.
It finally had its time to shine, and you missed it for about 60 seconds, and then it slowly draws that water in, and the top part of it starts to form a crust.
And then you walk away.
But then you walk away
and
for
go
an
watch,
hour.
And that during that time,
For
you
an hour.
watch some more TikTok or some YouTube, and then you're like,
I could
"How
go
was
in,
I supposed to do this again?"
I listen. Come back.
Yeah.
Missed it again for 30 seconds. Wait another hour. By the third hour, when you come back, it should be a hard enough crust that you can introduce shower mode, which gives you a more volume of water without actually hurting the top of the look and making it look like it got rained on. Mm-hmm. So then you do the shower for 30 seconds or 60 seconds, and then you wait another hour. Yeah. Then you do another shower, and then you wait another hour, and then you do another shower, and then it was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sounds like you have a fever. You're doing it. Yeah. You started at what time?
We started fooling with this about 4 yesterday. And then we had to put the gravel in as the base, and then we compacted it. Then we had to go get the concrete. So literally about 11 hours straight of fooling around with this.
How many hours of water showers would you say? Like 6 hours of showers, 8 hours, 10 hours of showers?
No, it's very little.
Oh, really?
Overwatering could be what undoes. It could be the problem.
But you're talking about total watering.
Yeah,
what I'm talking about are the short instances of the water being spread out. How many times did you repeat that process?
Seven times.
Okay.
And each time was only about a minute worth of water.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it's not a lot of water.
I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah. You weren't listening. It's fine. You do that sometimes.
I mean, I'm trying to, I'm listening to the future right now. Okay.
So then at night, I actually stayed the night at the Airbnb, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And then I without an alarm, I woke up at 6:30 this morning, ready to go. I watered it one more time, put a tarp on top of it. Because for all you fanatics out there, the slower that concrete cures, the harder and more resistant to breaking it will be. Okay, if you pour in the middle of summer or summer-like conditions and you don't go back and add water, or you don't put some big old burlap tarp on top of it, it will cure so quickly that it's gonna start cracking within the first year. And I had that happen on a flip of mine, and that's when I learned it. I said, man, dude, y'all just poured this and there's this big crack.
But that wasn't a dry pour.
That was the real deal. That was supposed to be the right way, because this does get a lot of people riled up. But with all of that said, because I only did one half side, and I'm very happy with how it is coming out.
Okay.
When we go to do the second side, I'm going to do a lot more videotaping and explaining to other people who want to try this project. I can be their guinea pig, and they can see how a guy like me did it, and they can decide if they want to try something like that on their own.
What's showing up in the comments of the videos that you've seen about doing this? There's the positive stuff, there's the negative stuff. We're all happy because we can do it ourselves. That's the best part about the dry pouring,
That's absolutely the best part.
Yeah, it's cheaper, like it's you don't need the heavy, you can divide up the job a lot more.
Yes, you can.
So these are the reasons why that, doing it is appealing. And then of course you've got the haters all the time, or it's just not proven to people yet. So what's the other side of that?
Well, we've all know people that if you introduce something to them that is different from how their grandpa or their grandma or their parents did it, it's just wrong. You can stop explaining to them right there, because they're not hearing anything you're saying once you've already shown them that you're doing something a way different than they were shown growing up. So you're going to get those knee-jerk reactions of, oh, it looks good now, but it'll be crumbs in a year. Or, everybody has these wild hypotheses about it. And unfortunately, a lot of them don't understand the physics of concrete to begin with. They don't understand why driveways and streets and garages have to be much more stronger than a patio or a ramp to get you safely into your dang shed.
Yeah.
So you can roll your. I mean, people are doing these simple projects. They're making their own pavers. They're going out to their garden. They're dry pouring gigantic square pavers all on their own, and it just
I poured some concrete when I was a kid. We did it in our basement. You were in that house at 29th Street. It was wet pour, but we did. And 20 years later, it was still there. It was super damp basement, But part of the thing, like you can do your own concrete. Part of the risk, I think, that and why people aren't exploring it is probably that once you do it, if it fails, it's expensive to get it out of there even, So there's probably a lot of people with reluctance to even consider that dry pour might work. But, you mentioned grandmas and grandpas and the way that we've always done things and all that. And the one thing that, we didn't plan to talk about this before we came in here today, but when you said this, it rang a bell for another kind of post, TikTok post that I've seen and really intrigued me about concrete.
Tell me about it.
And that they were talking about like concrete from the Roman Empire era. And when you go,
and why is it still here?
Yeah,
how is it still
did they
here?
pour it in forms? I don't know. First, we don't know how they made all that, a lot of that stuff, But the intriguing thing that I heard was that you see that some of those things have cracks in them, and because like what they poured or what they put together was not, they couldn't even mill it like they do now. Like our concrete is really fine, but you still need to mix it up. You're not doing the mixing when you're doing the dry pour. Back then, they couldn't even mix that as thoroughly as we do now, right? So there's pieces of, I think it's lime or some kind of other element or mineral like that, and it's in there not mixed up. So then when the concrete cracks and the water goes in there, the water reacts with those minerals and it actually like repairs the cracks.
Yeah.
So the cracks are there, they appear, and then the water gets in and the minerals repair the crack and make it strong again.
T1000.
And I'm wondering if that might happen with this dry pour concrete, in the future, 2,000 years from now.
There's the more you get into the science behind it, it's really fascinating. It's really fun. But the last thing I'll say about this, which is also pissed people off in the comment section, is because me, I've built a lot of fence.
Yeah.
And you've got to pour concrete footings. For the post. And if you look at the bags, the actual bags of Quikrete, it literally says no mixing required.
Yeah, right.
If you look at it, it literally has a little section. If you're doing fence posts, they want you to pour the entire bag into there dry.
And pour water on it. Yeah.
And then pour water on it and don't mix anything.
Yeah.
And even that, people in the comments say, you're stupid.
It'll never work.
But for the people who actually understand the science behind it, there are places where they will pour the dry concrete into the post, into the hole, put the 4x4 post in there, and not even put water in it.
Oh yeah, just let the environment
literally
wet it.
It'll take the moisture from the ground and pull it into it. And like I was telling you earlier, the slower the cure, the harder it is.
Shut up.
You don't want to get
That's too good of a point, man. Shut up. You cannot use that as a finale.
Oh, man.
That was good. That's really good. I don't know if you got that from somebody's post or what. I was going to ask you.
Fence post?
So you know what? You kind of answered my question. Yeah, the fence post. I have another post to talk about, right? So I have like these poles in my yard that are for a batting cage from 20 years ago, and the concrete is cracked up.
Talk to me, baby.
And
what do we need to do?
Well, I was thinking about
be there.
Just pouring concrete in there and just leaving it the way it is and just fill in the cracks or the holes with concrete. And I was thinking I should put wet concrete in there, but the way you said that, maybe I should just sprinkle some in, just sprinkle me a little bit, just E40 my batting cage, I might do it.
We gotta take a look at it, man.
I might do it.
But let me be your guinea pig.
Yeah.
This project at the Airbnb is actually me being a guinea pig for myself.
That's the best way to do it.
I've got a project I want to do in my own house that's a little bigger.
Oh, Airbnb, it's less risky. Again, the risk is a big thing. As a realtor, we hear about this stuff. Like, we want to recommend things to people, but you can't do it unless you can't recommend it unless you've done it, unless you've tested it. And that's kind of, you're kind of doing a science experiment right here, right? On your Airbnb. And then, okay, so, he's got that awesome Airbnb. It's like a party over there, house party is the next segment. And that's what I'm here to talk about now. I have made an amazing choice. It's gonna work out, guys. I was on Facebook. I was in a time of need. I moved into a house 3 years ago that had about a 20-year-old pool robot vacuum. I've been finding bearings in the bottom of the pool for that whole time, and just hoping maybe these bearings are coming from somewhere else. Maybe hopefully they're not coming out of the pump. They're probably coming out of this vacuum. I changed the rollers on it. This year it's just not rolling. You know how much these things cost?
Please enlighten me.
The cheapest ones you're going to get for an above ground pool are going to be like $600. They're not going to climb the wall. They're just doing the bottom, you know.
Wow.
If you're going into a robot vacuum that is going to be for an in-ground pool that's got some depth to it, that's going to go down, climb the wall, go up to the top of the wall and scrub along the top edge.
What are we talking, brother?
You're talking about at least $1,200. $1,200. I mean, probably my buddy's paying $2,000 for his, $2,400. You guys know how much I paid for mine?
Oh boy.
$59.99, baby. That's right.
Yeah, let me guess. Where is it though, Luke?
I don't know where it's at. It hasn't arrived yet.
Where's it coming from, young Luke?
It's coming from China. As soon as I ordered it, I made a call. I got the email from Discount Center. It's spelled wrong. It is. I believe it's coming. $59.99. I'm willing to take the risk. I'm willing to wait 2 or 3 weeks because if this happens, I'm going to get the same kind of joy from this that you're going to get from dry concrete pouring success. Don't you think? All the people that I can show, I'm going to show this whole audience.
At least your way was a real shortcut. I got freaking 25, 30 hours into this damn thing. And I'm starting to wonder if my time's worth the damn money that we save. But anyway.
But when you work hard, you get rewarded. And when you log onto a Facebook website and put your credit card number in there, you probably don't, But if I do, I beat the system. I beat it. Well, I've been watching the
Either
website.
that or your phone now has AIDS. May the odds ever be in your favor, baby.
Well, my pool vacuum got stuck in customs. And then it got moved to the other customs department, and then it became in transit in customs. And I'm getting updates like all the time. Like I have a record of what's happening with the transport of my pool vacuum.
Memorize the tracking number.
Oh, this is gonna be good, man. So anyway, I'm just letting you guys know that I've reached the precipice. The pinnacle of pool vacuum.
Give me the Jesus arms. Give me the Jesus arms, Scott.
All right, we'll see what happens. I've been vacuuming my pool myself. Okay.
Oh, man. Have you guys got in the pool so far this year?
We have. Yeah. The water's been clear. It's gotten cloudy. It's clear again. This is what you do.
We got a huge heat wave coming tomorrow.
Man, I'm swimming. I'm vacuuming before I'm swimming.
I'll be there.
Maybe my thing will arrive.
We should watch the basketball game outside in the pool.
Oh, my God. Good call.
Is that tonight?
It is. It's tonight. Today's Wednesday, yeah. Game 3 of the finals, See what Luka does. Yeah. Not much so far.
Not much so far.
He's on the home stretch, He hasn't hit any home runs. He's barely crossing home plate. Neil, have you been thinking about what Luka should do or what our home run should be right now?
Yeah.
What do you got, buddy? What do we want to hear again?
Well, first off, I feel like I need to issue a disclaimer that we're not going to be held responsible for any future TikTok trends. Refrigerants.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to put that out there.
All right, asterisk. Okay.
Thank you, Lou.
Chris kind of touched on it there at the end. But how do we get Chris to realize that his back, arms, time, that's all money?
Yes.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
So you said you have approximately 11 hours invested so far in this patio.
No. That 11.
That didn't include prep work.
Yeah, I got 25 in.
25 hours,
Easy.
man. Okay, all
Easy.
right.
And my back is feeling it. How I'm operating on 3 hours of sleep right now with the zest and joy that you guys known for me to have is even impressing myself.
Have you had to eat extra Wheaties or anything?
I had
to nutritionize yourself?
Luke, I thought about you last night when I had the 4th meal, and I don't stay up late, but I needed it.
Good for you.
I needed it.
Good for you, bud.
So my question for you, as a multiple business owner, what's the threshold for the dollar amount or time amount for you that takes a project from DIY to hiring a professional?
Well, once I know what it's actually going to take me in time, that is something I'm willing to find out one time.
Yeah.
And now that I know what this takes, I'll still do it again to save money. I will, because I love it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I love creating so much.
You're a maker.
I am. And the pride that I get from making something happen. And just like I've told you before, 2023 was a wild year.
Yeah.
We said yes to way more stuff than we should have.
Sure.
And it took me onto the brink of insanity.
But you want to do more. Glutton for punishment.
And I wouldn't change anything about it. I wouldn't change it, but I didn't want to follow 2023 up with another 2023 and 2024, if that makes any sense at all. From the minds of a man who's only 3 hours of consciousness.
Have you ever thought about whittling a wooden rocking horse?
Hell no.
I mean, these things are valuable.
I will whittle my thumb off.
This is a home thing. Like, this is you exploring, like, the costs. This is you triumphing over the high cost of concrete. In total, you said you have how much in this project, would you say?
Money or time?
Money, yeah.
Money, maybe $1,100.
$1,100. So the work, the labor and such, the trucks and all that, you know, that you would probably have to pay to deliver this concrete makes a job like what you're talking about in the end, if you just paid somebody to do it, for that concrete probably cost $7,000, maybe $10,000 for that size of concrete.
Yeah, depending. If you got enough quotes, you could get that high, and you might get some shade tree person that actually would make the finish look worse than even what I'm capable of.
Yeah,
you know, for $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah.
So for me, I want to. It builds value in what I'm paying somebody else to do. You know, I like to pay people for the stuff that I know exactly what it takes, either by watching them or if I'm doing it myself. And I feel much more comfortable giving them that money, knowing what it is. Too many people out there think that skilled laborers are some kind of magicians or something. Mm-hmm. They don't want to know how it happens. But those are also the same people who start tripping about how much expensive it costs. Yeah. They don't really know what it takes until you say do it yourself.
Yeah. I've found in this business, like, the knowledge of doing things, like doing the drywall, like gutting the whole house, putting the drywall back up, mudding it, you know, putting the screws in, the frustration there, like the frustration with the corners and getting them perfect. Is the wall flat?
Hell,
you know?
Just transporting the dang drywall without busting the corners.
Oh, yeah.
God, that is so hard.
You had to go to the store and you had to borrow a truck.
Half of them were already busted when you picked them up.
But I just bought a truck. I drive a truck now,
right.
Okay? So I'm capable, but
that's the whole episode next
we'll
week.
talk about that another time, but what I'm saying is, though, that knowledge, once you've done that, you're able to speak so much more educationally when you're with your clients. Sometimes you say, oh, that'll cost about this much, but you know that from quotes, but when you know it because, and they're like, maybe they question you.
Yeah, they say, that seems kind of high, doesn't it?
You can go a little further and you could say, well, each sheet of drywall costs this much, plus you have to transport it, then you got to hang it, then you put the mud up, then you're sanding, like when they know that you've done those things and you know, like, all the steps, and also that you know how it fits together, they trust that you can see that that's not right. Or they trust that when you walk into this room, you say, well, it's going to cost about $2,500 to drywall and paint this room. Plus you have flooring and all that kind of stuff. It looks like the flooring is not on the right thing. So what you're doing is you're making yourself way stronger as a real estate agent, and as you should be. Neil's asking about the trade-off. Like, would you just trade the money for that experience? Yeah, like you said, one time. It's totally worth it to do it once. And then you kind of confused. You said you're a maker, like you're going to do it a whole bunch more times, Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
You are.
No, there's no doubt about it. What I will change...
I don't know, dude. I don't know what he means.
There's going to be more. But the back-breaking part of the labor...
Yeah,
I've got to find. I'm going to be calling Sarah Kane's husband.
You're going to
GC
Bobcat it. You want to GC. You're going to find the dudes for the pieces.
All that grading could have been done in about 2 hours with the right tools, with the right equipment.
Yeah.
So
I see.
So
interesting.
Yeah, in this
watching
particular
this
case,
man evolve.
We would have had to have taken a fence apart just to get that equipment to be able to even drive back there. Didn't really want to. Yeah. But in the next time I want to do something like that, and I have the space to have somebody come and grade it out for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I will be making that call, and I'll be out there watching the entire time, loving it.
He likes the power. He's a maker. I'm a fixer. I like tinkering. Here we are, tinkering on, hanging with the homeboys.
That's right. And we love you for tinkering with us today and every day. For all of the people who keep tuning in, don't stop, because we're not stopping.
Keep it up. Tell us what to do. Tell us what you like. Comment.
That's right.
Any way you want to.
That's right. Yeah.
We can take it.
Text Luke. He loves that. He's got 2 phones. He's like Kevin Gates.
Got 2 phones.
That's right.
Yep. One for, I think the show's over.
Yes.